Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the all-new 2024 BMW M340i. Huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this sporty sedan for me today. Take a look at their website, that link is down in the description. This 340i is finished off in mineral white metallic. MSRP is just over $64,000. And this is powered by the 3-liter inline 6-cylinder twin power turbo engine. It's paired to the 8-speed automatic transmission and pumps out 382 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent through the xDrive all-wheel drive system, propelling this 3,900-pound sedan from 0 to 60 in just under 4 seconds. It has a top speed of 155 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 15.6 gallons. You'll expect to see around 23 miles per gallon in the city, 31 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 112.2 inches. Its overall length is 185.7. It has a width of 71.9, a height of 56.7, and its ground clearance measures in at 5.4 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling now for this 340, this particular model has a few packages on it, including the M Sport Pro package, which provides all the gloss black accents for up front. So it's on the entire surround for the kidney grille, where this does also have the active grille shutters. So those will open to provide even more cooling to that engine. And then there's more gloss black running in the entire lower section. Definitely a good contrast with this mineral white. Now this also has the LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals with a very thin housing that match nicely with the outside of the surround for that grille. BMW badge is front and center. There's also sensors up front for your parking, and then there's even more inlets down below as well as the far corners to provide some better airflow and aerodynamics for this model. Now as we work our way to the side, this has a very nice set of 19-inch wheels with that double spoke to pattern along with the two-tone design. That M Sport Pro package also provides it with the red brake calipers. This has gloss black for the side mirrors, which also have the turn signal on them. There is a sunroof up top. All of the window trim is blacked out too, and I think it has a really nice side profile design. There's some nice contoured lines in that lower section there, and then one that goes just above the door handles all the way to the rear. Now this also has a very small trunk mounted spoiler finished off in gloss black. There's a backup camera with all the sensors, more gloss black down below, and then the dual exhaust on both sides, which you can remote start. So let's triple tap on that lock button, bring this to life. And then you can also triple tap on the lock button again to shut it off as needed. And then you can use the button on the key fob or the button up underneath to open up the trunk, where this is a pretty practical vehicle. It is on the smaller side, being the 3 Series from BMW. You have a net on the left side, a little bit of a storage bin on the right side, no storage underneath the floor. However, you can fold down the back seats. So pull on those tabs on both sides, and that gives you a lot more interior space, making it that much more practical if you need to use it. And then we can quickly close that trunk. There are some options that this one is missing. I believe you can get a power trunk. You can also get the 360 camera system too. We can also unlock this from the back door handles, which is convenient. And then paired with this white, we have the Cognac interior. This model has the Harman Kardon sound system, ambient lighting. We have brushed aluminum accents too, and even some storage. And then at 5'10", hopping into the back, I actually have a decent amount of space. I have plenty of room for my feet and my legs. There is no storage bin or net behind both front seats there, but we have the air vents, your climate adjustments, some auxiliaries, and then right in the middle, if you pull on this tab, you have the armrest along with 2 cup holders, and you can even fold down this middle seat individually. So if you want a little bit higher of an armrest or you need to gain access into the back, it is pretty easy to do. And then at my height, I have an inch and a half above my head, so I can sit upright and be comfortable. So for the smaller size being the 3 Series, you're not really sacrificing the back seat space to get a little bit more sporty and nimble of a sedan. Now up front, we have all of the window adjustments, side mirror controls, which are power folding, even memory seats, and then more storage down below. And then for the automatic front seats, they have a very nice design to them with all of those controls, minus the one manual adjustment for that leg support. So you can adjust that as needed. And then we have the M Sport steering wheel finished off in solid leather. This has brushed aluminum for those paddles. Left side, all the cruise control settings with the 360 camera. You can also opt for the distance pacing as well. Right side, there's volume and tuning, and then we have a few controls for that gauge cluster. So let's fire this back up and get some revs for the 340. And coming back to the gauge cluster, if I use the button on the right side, we can get into our content now and scroll through some various information, just depending on what you need to see. It's very easy to use, and you have a good bit of info you can go through. Now, you can also still use this information or visualize it with the different views. So just depending on how you want to see it, you can do different layouts. And then we have the head-up display too, which will go through 4 different settings. And again, just depending on the info that you would like to see, you can adjust that as needed. And then over on the left side, we have all the headlight adjustments. There's one air vent. And then working our way to the infotainment system, it's very easy to use this. We have a lot that we can go through just on the home screen. You can even add some widgets as needed. That is just by pushing on the home button. If we push on those 4 squares, you can get into your climates, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, your interior lighting. You have a lot of apps that you are able to scroll through. If we go back to home, you have shortcuts to your phone and music, and you can even pull up the navigation. Now this lower section is fixed, so you can always get into your heated seats along with your climate adjustments, even the temperatures on both sides, and then quickly make that disappear. Now there's really cool trim accent. This is an option that you can go with, which is nice. There's brushed aluminum, 2 air vents, power and volume for the radio, as well as tuning and defrosters. And then below, there's wireless charging, which is an option, and you have some auxiliaries and cup holders. And then you get more of that pattern surrounding everything in the middle. Now, if you don't want to use that infotainment system as a touchscreen system, you have all these shortcuts down below where you can get through all this. You can even use the rotary dial to further go through it. So very easy to use. On this left side, there's traction control as well as the parking sensors. And then to put this into reverse, we will push that forwards where there's ambient lighting on it. We have the curb right there, so the parking sensors are going off. You can just have these sensors if you like to, but of course, that gives you some great visibility. We have drive and sport mode to the back, and then park is at the very bottom there. Now, with the different driving modes, you have a few that you can go through, including sport, comfort, and eco. There's auto hold with the e-brake, and then there's the armrest with a few auxiliaries, and then you have plenty of space in the glove box. Now up top, we have the control for the sunshade and the sunroof, as both of those are power operated. And then as far as visibility goes, very easy to see over both shoulders. The pillars in the back are super thin, so that just gives you a lot more visibility. As we set off now behind the wheel for the M340i, this is one of my favorite sedans from BMW. If you don't want to go up to the M3, you want something that still has some performance and characteristics to it without spending quite that much money, but you also don't want more of a basic 3 Series either. This is a perfect middle ground for the 3 Series with it in sport mode already. Here we go. And I think it sounds very good. We have a low kind of grumble to that exhaust when you let off the accelerator. And this just handles incredibly well. Having the all-wheel drive system too, you can drive this in more inclement weather, and this is just a perfect daily driver. Now it is a 3 Series, so it is a little bit on that smaller side versus the 5 or the 7 Series. So if you want something that is a little bit more nimble, it's going to handle better, this is an option to go with without sacrificing too much of your passenger storage or space in general. So it's not too small, but it's also not very large either. So kind of in that middle ground again. But behind the wheel of the M340, this is exactly what you would expect. I love the new updates for this model with the newer screen and the shifter here. I think it gives this interior a much nicer look. I was in a previous generation a while back, and I don't know, I like both of the screens, but in the 340, I think this is a little bit nicer in my opinion. And this is just a very nice sedan to drive. It's very comfortable. You can just pop it back into Eco Pro and drive it like a normal Camry or something like that. It's super comfortable. We have a lot of visibility too. It's very open feeling for this interior. Seats are comfortable too. You have a lot of adjustments for them. and it would be a great daily, but also something that is performance oriented and sporty enough to take to the track, to take to some back mountain roads. There's even tuning potential for this with the engine that it offers, as far as getting power to almost get to M3 level without buying an actual M3. So you have some tuning potentials if that's something that you're interested in, but if you just want to buy it as is, you want a little bit more sporty of a daily, this is perfect to go with. Very quick in those shifts as well. So the paddle response is great. And the steering is also very good too. It feels like it's a good tight steering, especially for a car like this. That is what you would expect to get with the M version of the 3 Series. So this is what it's like to be behind the wheel. I have all of the adaptive content there pulled up, so you can look at horsepower, torque, PSI, even some vitals to monitor as well. And for the mid $60,000 mark, I think this is a great deal, especially with some of the other models and brands that are available for the mid 60s. The performance that you get from this is incredible. And I think for the money, it's one of the best sporty sedans that you can buy. Comment down below if you know of any others. My brother has done some videos comparing this to his personal RS3, which is another good option to go with, and a few other cars. So let me know your thoughts with this versus some other sporty sedans. But we have a very nice interior. We have a few options for this particular model, so that price tag can increase with adding some other options. But this would make for a great daily driver. Driving modes actually make a difference, so it's nice that you have those. That's across the board with a lot of the BMW models. But other than that, I really don't have anything negative to say. It's a great option if you want a luxury brand, you want something that has some performance and some character to it without going to a full-blown M car like the M3, which would be the upgrade from this if you wanted even more of a track-focused sedan. So if you're looking for something that would be a little bit better as a daily driver, the M340 still will give you some great performance without getting the M3, but also something you can just drive like normal, have a little bit softer of a suspension, and you can drive this every day. That is going to wrap it up for the 2024 BMW M340i. Huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing the sporty 3 Series for me today. Check out their website, give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.